Okay guys, so we have factoring and solving equations with quantities today. It is just examples because you already know how to do quantities, you already know how to solve. So basically we're just putting all of that together. So example 1. We have x plus 6 squared minus 16 equals 0. So what we want to do here is pick a variable and set it equal to the x plus 6. I'm going to pick a. So a is equal to x plus 6. And then we just plug a in. So that's going to give me a squared minus 16 equals 0. And what method of factoring is this? Difference of two squares. So that is a plus 4 times a minus 4 equals 0. Now I want to give you a word of warning. A lot of times I see students stop here and set each factor equal to 0 and they give me positive 4 and negative 4 as their answer. We first have to substitute x plus 6 back in. So substitute it back in first because it's actually going to change the value of what's inside those parentheses. So simplify this. So that's going to give me x plus 10 times x plus 2 equals 0. Now I can set each factor equal to 0. So I have x plus 10 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. So on the left we subtract 10 from both sides and that gives me x equals 10. On the right we subtract 2 from both sides. So that gives me x equals, or negative 10, and x equals negative 2. A word of warning, you always want to make sure that you check your answers because it could possibly happen that one of our two answer choices doesn't work. So I'm just going to do a quick mental check really quick. If I plug negative 10 in for x, what's negative 10 plus 6? Negative 10 plus 6? Negative 4. And negative 4 squared gives me 16. And 16 minus 16 is 0, right? So it works. What if I plugged in negative 2? What's negative 2 plus 6? 4. 4 squared is 16. And so it works still, right? So both of our answers are correct. Okay, I do want to make sure that you guys are doing mental checks if you're not writing it down. If you writing down your checks is the best, but if you do a mental check, that's better than nothing because sometimes it will come out that one of your answers won't work, so you have to discard it. Okay? Okay, example 2. 3x plus 1 squared minus 64 equals 0. So what we do here is we're going to let a equal 3x plus 1 and plug that in. So that's going to give me a squared minus 64 equals 0. Similar to example 1, it's a difference of two squares. So this is a plus 8 times a minus 8 equals 0. Plug 3x plus 1 back in. So that gives me 3x plus 1 plus 8 times 3x plus 1 minus 8 equals 0. Simplify 3x plus 9 times 3x minus 7 equals 0. We can set each one equal to 0. So 3x plus 9 equals 0. And 3x minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to work on the left first. Subtract 9. So that gives me 3x equals negative 9. So then we divide both sides by 3. So I get x equals -3. And then same thing on the right. Add 7. (3x) equals 7. Divide both sides by 3. So x also equals 7/3. Okay, quick mental check. If I plugged in -3 for x, 3 times -3 gives me -9 plus 1, -8. And what's -8 squared? 64. So that works, right? What if I plugged in 7/3? So that would give me 3 times 7/3 plus 1 squared. 3 times 7/3. What happens there? The 3's reduce, and I'm left with 7 plus 1, which is 8, and 8 squared is 64. So 64 minus 64 gives me 0, so our answers both check out. Okay? Alright, how are you guys feeling about this so far? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Good? Okay, excellent. Example 3. We have x plus 4 squared plus x plus 4 minus 42 equals 0. What am I going to let a equal in this one? Good, x plus 4. So that's going to give me a squared plus a minus 42 equals 0. What method of factoring is this? Diamond. So two numbers that multiply to -42 and add up to +1. 6 and 7. One of them has to be negative. Which one? Good, -6. So this is a minus 6 times a plus 7 equals 0. And then plug x plus 4 back into the problem. So that's going to give me x plus 4 minus 6 times x plus 4 plus 7 equals 0. So that's x minus 2 times x plus 11 equals 0. Set each one equal to 0. On the left, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I get x equals +2. On the right, I subtract 11. So I get x equals -11. Mental check. Does it work out?
Yes.
Yeah. If I plug 2 in, 2 plus 4 gives me 6. So I know this guy is 6 and that guy is 6, right? 6 squared is 36. Plus 6 gives me 42. And 42 minus 42 is 0. If I plug in -11, that gives me -7. And that's also -7. So that's 49 minus 7, which also gives me 42. Okay, so both of them check out. If, for example, we plugged in 2 and it didn't work, your answer would then just be -11. So you would just discard the one that doesn't work. Okay? Okay, any questions so far? You guys feel good? Yep? Okay, last one. 2x minus 4 times x plus 2 equals 24. Okay, this one looks a lot different than any of the quantity problems that we've seen. But if you look over here, do you guys see something that we could do right away? Yeah, there's a GCF of 2, so let's take it out. So that's going to give me 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 2 equals 24. Okay. X minus 2 times x plus 2, what does that look like to you? That's actually a difference of 2 squares. What would it look like if it wasn't factored out that way? x squared minus 4 equals 24. Now I have a quantity that I can substitute in. So we're going to let a equal x squared minus 4. The reason why we can't...
That's a quantity?
Yeah, it's all in
It
parentheses.
had to be on the outside of the parentheses.
It is.
No, I mean like...
So then we have 2 times a equals 24. We need to get the whole thing equal to 0, so let's subtract 24 from both sides. So that gives me 2a minus 24 equals 0. Do you see anything else that we could do? There's another GCF. So that's going to be 2 times a minus 12 equals 0. Do you see anything else we can do before we substitute back in? Me neither. So let's take this guy and plug it back in. So that's 2 times x squared minus 4 minus 12 equals 0. I'm going to move my work up here. So that gives me 2 times x squared minus 16 equals 0. Now you have two options here. You can factor this out using difference of two squares and then set each one of those equal to 0. Or you can just set the factors equal to 0 right now. Which one do you guys want to do? You want to do it right now? Okay, so we have 2 equals 0 and x squared minus 16 equals 0. 2 equals 0, is that possible? No, so we just discard it. How would I solve this one? X squared minus 16 equals 0. We can't square root yet because we still have that plus 6 or minus 16. So we add 16 to both sides first. So that gives me x squared equals positive 16. Now what would I do? Now you can take the square root. Square root of x squared is x. What's the square root of 16?
4.
Why?
Has a negative, positive.
Yeah. When we take a square root, our answer is actually plus or minus. Because negative 4 times negative 4 gives me positive 16, right? And positive 4 times positive 4 also gives me positive 16. So my answer is plus or minus 4. Yeah. So another option that you had was to factor this out to 2 times x plus 4 times x minus 4, and then you still would have got negative 4, positive 4 as your answer. So you still would have gotten the same thing as your answer, but you could have done it in two ways. Either way works for me.